What's going on, beautiful people? I am the Grandmaster, but I also go by D-Ray, and I am your coach of the San Diego Snugglers this season for the APA Academy. And this is the team builder for week number 1. This is an epic bout against Platinum Howler and his Delta Glygars. Today we're going to be going over the team, what I'm going to bring, why I'm going to bring it, all my thought process behind it, all the EVs and IVs, the movesets, all that fun jazz. So if you're into that kind of thing, do me a massive favor, shadow call that thumbs up button. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications, hit the bell button so you guys are notified every single time I post a new video. With all that out the way, let's just get right on into it. On your screen, in the game, you're going to see Mimikyu. So I don't have a Mimikyu, unfortunately, but it's the mascot, so we threw that on your screen to hide the team that we're bringing so far. First, let's go over what Platinum Howler has. Down below on the screen, on the bottom of the screen, you're going to see his team. So first off, he's got a Necrozma. Necrozma is a huge threat, pure psychic typing, very threatening offensive Pokemon. It's got a great ability in Prism Armor, is I think what it is. It reduces the damage output from super effective attacks. That's pretty clutch. This generation they decided for whatever reason to give a Dragon Dance, so I do think that is going to come with Dragon Dance, so that's going to be a big threat. 100% has to come. Excuse me. Next one on the squad that he has is Weavile. Whoa. Weavile is such a threat. It's such a good sweeper, such a good wall breaker with its dual stabs. So good. Dark and Ice, very good. It's a very physical, so it's a physical type mon. It gets Icicle Crash, Ice Shard, Knockoff because it is post home, so it does regain access to Knockoff, and it does have fighting coverage, which I think is going to bring against my team. I do expect it to come 100%. I do think that it has Ice Crash, Ice Shard, Knockoff, and Low Kick, so we'll see. I'd be very shocked if he leaves Weavile behind this week. Next one on the squad he has is Torkoal. Torkoal for sure is going to come. I do believe that he brings Drought, so it's a Sunsetter, sorry. Very bulky fire type Pokemon with access to Stealth Rock, with access to Rapid Spin alike. It also gets really good offensive output with its fire type stab because it is boosted by the sun, even if you invest all in its defenses. It does get access to Solar Beam, so it's able to break down bulky waters. So this is a really good wall for him. I do have to watch out for some yawn shenanigans, so that's going to be something that I expect to come. So I believe Torkoal does come. Next mon on his team he has is Heliolisk. It's a very fast normal and electric type Pokemon. Gets good abilities. It does benefit from the Sunset by Torkoal. Has access to Solar Power, which boosts its attack. It's essentially like another Life Orb. It gets access to Dry Skin, so that could be pretty good. So I do believe that Heliolisk comes. It's going to be a good way for him to be able to mitigate some speed tiers because his team isn't all that fast aside from Weavile. Next one on his squad he has is Copperjaw. So Copperjaw is a really good pure steel type Pokemon, very slow but very offensively built. Has great coverage like Heat Crash, Power Whip. It gets Iron Head for stab. It gets Sheer Force, so all those moves get boosted, which is really good. And it also has Stealth Rock, so it could be a secondary Stealth Rock for him if he wants to set up some hazards. So I do think that Copperjaw comes. His next mon he has is Togetic. Not Togekiss, Togetic, the secondary evolution line, and so it can hold Eviolite, which could be pretty clutch for him. I do think that it's gonna come because if he doesn't bring Togetic, then my Escadrille just goes rampant. So for that reason, I do believe that he does bring Togetic, even though it's not going to be that good of a check to Escadrille because it's going to be weak to Iron Head, but it's able to slow down ground coverage. So I do think that Togetic comes. It's a good defogger for him because it gets access to defog because it's post home. It gets access to Heal Bell, so it could be a cleric for him. I do think Togetic comes. The mons above them, he also has Gallade. Gallade's a really good psychic fighting type breaker. Gets access to close combat and headbutt, Shadow Snake for priority. A really good Pokemon, but I don't think that it's gonna come this battle. We've got Sandaconda, who's his G-Max, just like us. I don't think that Sandaconda comes. I really don't. With the added benefit of loot, I mean, it could, because it's able to weaken water type attacks for it, but I don't see Sandaconda coming, even though it's crazy to think about it, to him leaving behind his G-Max Pokemon, but I just don't think that this is the way for his Sandaconda. It's a great Pokemon. It gets access to Sand Spit to set up the sand if he needs to for whatever reason. Gets access to Shed Skin, so it can basically be a status absorber for him, a Stealth Rocker. It's pretty fast and pretty bulky. It's around 71 base speed, so great Pokemon. That's why we drafted it ourselves. So next mon on his team he has is a Drampa. Drampa is a normal and dragon type Pokemon. If he doesn't bring Heliolisk, I think he brings Drampa, because Heliolisk and Drampa are going to keep my Dragapult from just spamming Ghost type stab. But it's a really good, especially offensive Pokemon. Once it gets low enough, it activates its Berserk ability, which is really good. It gets a boost into its attacks. So it's okay Pokemon in this matchup, but I don't think that it comes. Next he has is a Venusaur. Venusaur is really, really good this generation. Gets access to Chlorophyll, so it's another Pokemon that can abuse the sun for him. This generation they gave it Earth Power, which is really, really good. It gets access to Weather Ball, which is good fire type coverage in the sun. I just don't think that it comes. If it does, I wouldn't be shocked, because it's a way for him to help with his speed tiers to be able to outspeed Dragapult. And if it does come, I think that he replaces Copperjaw instead. So either he brings Copperjaw or Venusaur, but we're going to prepare for the both of them just in case. Last mon in the squad, he has a Mimikyu, the best Pokemon in the game. I don't think that it comes this week because we do have a Mold Breaker Excadrille, which can one-shot it with Iron Head. Shadow Sneak coverage could be great, but again, Gallade has that as well, but I just don't think that it comes this week. Doesn't have that great of a matchup. If it does come, I think he's going to bring a Trick Room variant to be able to set up Trick Room for his Copperjaw or his Torkoal to be able to do some eruption shenanigans. So that could be, if I see Mimikyu, that's going to be my first suspicion right away. So what did we decide to bring? First mon on the squad is going to be Kobe, aka Toxtricity.
One name. Kobe. That's all we needed.
Buckle up for Kobe! What did I just see? Kobe, Kobe, Kobe.
Kobe is going to be running Boom Burst, Overdrive, Volt Switch, and Shift Gear. He's going to be with the Punk Rock ability, obviously, holding the Silk Scarf. And now in regards to its EVs and IVs, for those who don't know, if you look at the game, you notice that the attack is in blue and the special attack is in red. The red means it's plus, and then the blue means it's minus. So we're running the Modest nature with 144 in HP, 88 in defense, 252 in special attack, 4 in speed def, and 20 in speed. The reason why we put the 20 in speed is because with one shift gear, it can outspeed Weavile at plus 2. So with one shift gear, we outspeed Weavile by 1 point. For those who caught that, it says sassy, but it's been minted, so it's a Modest nature. So with one Boom Burst, I outspeed everything on his team, unless something's Scarf. So with Silk Scarf and Boom Burst, that combination hits like an absolute truck. Punk Rock basically boosts the attack power of all sound-based moves, and the sound-based moves that we have are Boom Burst and Overdrive, so that's going to be super clutch. Boom Burst one-shots, depending on the bulk investment, it one-shots Torkoal, and it one-shots Togetic with Overdrive, depending on what he decided to bring. So if he does bring Togetic, that's what Kobe's going to be here for, to get rid of that. So that way our other Pokemon can run rampant. So Kobe is going to be super clutch for wall breaking, and depending on if I can get a shift gear or not, then I can also sweep, depending on what's left over. So Boom Burst hits his entire team, because I don't think he brings Mimikyu like I was saying. Copperjaw could be a little bit of an issue, but hopefully I can get that chip down by the time I have to bring in Toxtricity. So this thing is going to be super, super clutch this game. So the next mon of the squad that we decided to bring is going to be Escadrille. Escadrille, aka Makita. Makita is a brand of power tools, running Earthquake, Iron Head, Rapid Spin, Stealth Rock. We're running the Mold Breaker ability this week, and it's going to be holding a Choice Scarf. So the EVs that we put in this thing, we have, I should pull this up for you guys so I have it exact for you. We have 252 in attack with the Adamant Nature, 80 in defense, and then 176 in speed. This with the Choice Scarf, Adamant Nature, is going to outspeed Weavile by 1 point. So this is not meant to outspeed other Choice Scarfers, because if he decides to Choice Scarf his Heliolisk, I don't outspeed it anyway. I wanted to bring Focus Sash, but at the end of the day, this is going to be really, really good, because if you look at his team, Escadrille murders it with Earthquake. If he doesn't bring Togetic, Escadrille comes in, literally picks up a kill, depending on the time of the game. But hopefully it's either going to dent his team or just completely rip it apart with Earthquake. So if I don't see him bring Togetic, ooh, Escadrille is going to go in. So Escadrille is going to be super, super clutch this game. It does a lot of damage. If he does decide to bring Mimikyu, Mold Breaker is there to be able to hit it through its disguise, and I don't have to worry about that thing. Also, Prism Armor. Also, I don't have to worry about super effective attacks. I did think about that, and I was going to put on X-Scissor for it, but at the end of the day, I did want to have hazard control, so I put Rapid Spin and Stealth Rock on there. I was contemplating putting X-Scissor for the Necrozma. That's actually something that I still may do. If I do that, I'm probably going to get rid of Stealth Rock, and but the thing about that is I may not get Stealth Rocks this game, and I don't really want that, but it's something that I'm still contemplating before the game starts, so I'll let you guys know if I decide that. Mold Breaker allows it to ignore Necrozma's ability to reduce super effective attacks, so it could be clutch. I may switch it up, but I'll let you guys know if I do before the game. So the next mon on the squad that we decided to bring is going to be Conda. So this is our G-Max Pokemon. It does have a good matchup in our week because it's able to get rid of the sun from my opponent. So we are going to be bringing Sandspit. So what am I doing? There we go. So we're bringing the Sandspit ability. What Sandspit does whenever it takes any kind of damage, whether if it's physical or special, then it sets up the sand. So if I'm being abused by the sun, then I can bring in Sandaconda, set up the sand, and kind of mitigate that. So that way the Venusaur, if it decides to come in, doesn't completely run rampant, so on and so forth. I believe that if I get attempted to be hit by a Thunderbolt, even though it's not effective, I still activate Sandspit. I'm not entirely sure. I do have to look that up. But if it does, that could be pretty clutch. But Sandaconda is going to be holding the Master Ball. So we do have to hold a ball of some sort because those are the rules of this league. Because we are allowed to run G-Max. This is the way to kind of neuter or make it more competitive, more what's the word? It's to make it more, it's a lot easier for opponent to not get wrecked by your G-Max Pokemon essentially. So it's holding a Master Ball because, you know, Grandmaster D-Ray, gotta hold the Master Ball. Don't get to hold leftovers, don't get to hold Life Orb, all that fun jazz. But we are going to be running a sweeper set. So we have Earthquake, Stone Edge, Hurricane, and Stealth Rock. And then the EV spreads that we have for this thing, we're running 252 in attack, 36 in speed def, 220 in speed with the Jolly Nature. So the idea behind this is when I G-Max, Hurricane becomes Max Airstream, which boosts speed by 1. After 1 max airstream, I do outspeed Weavile by 1 point. So I can completely shred his entire team. Like I had mentioned before, he just gets ripped apart by Ground Stab. So Earthquake does become Savage. It's his special G-Max move, Sand, whatever. It's kind of like Charizard's, but it traps it in a Sandstorm. So it's the same amount of power, but it's super, super strong. So this is here not to be a bulky variant this week, but to be a sweeping variant this week. Now here's the thing. I put Stealth Rock on it, and now that I'm thinking about it right now, I could take Stealth Rock off of Escadrille to keep it. I'm actually going to do that. We're going to do that. So we're going to get rid of Stealth Rock from Escadrille, and then we're going to put X-Scissor to be able to deal with Necrozma. The reason why we don't want to put Shadow Claw is because he does have 2 normal types on his team. So we're going to put X-Scissor onto Necrozma and go from there. That way we can ignore its ability. So we'll do that before the game. I'll make sure I do that. I won't forget, I promise. So Sandaconda could be pretty good win con for us depending on the matchup or depending on the stage of the game. So this mon's going to be pretty good. So spoilers, the next mon that we have on the team is going to be Dragapult. So Dragapult, aka Air Force Uno, his EV spreads we're running this week is 40 in HP, 4 in defense, 252 in special attack, 88 in speed def, 124 in speed with the timid nature. This is here to basically just completely spam Shadow Ball if he for whatever reason decides to not bring Heliolisk or to bring Drampa. But at the same time, this is going to be our Heliolisk switch in, because I am able to take any electric type attacks that he wants to take, as well as be immune to Hyper Voice. And so I do resist, like I said, his electric stab and any surf water coverage that he wants to bring. So that could be pretty clutch for us. This is going to be our dedicated Heliolisk switch in, and I can come in, take a hit, U-turn out, bring into something else, or I can just start to spam Shadow Ball or Draco Meteor. Flamethrower is there for Copper Jaw, and it's also there for Heliolisk. No, sorry, it's also there for Weavile. So Under the Sun, this thing does a massive amount of damage to Copper Jaw, and also one-shots Weavile. So that's why we have Flamethrower. I put Flamethrower over Fire Blast because I don't want to miss Fire Blast. I've done that before. Not okay. I don't want to do that. No. So we're going to be running Flamethrower instead, and when it's boosted by the sun, it's going to do a lot more damage. We're going to have it hold the Yachi Berry, so that way I can bring it in on Weavile, and then I can outspeed it. And if he decides to go for an Ice Shard, I'm able to pop the Yachi Berry, take the attack, and knock it out with one hit with Flamethrower. And running the Infiltrator ability, and just in case he wants to run screens with one of his Pokemon, or if he wants to throw up a substitute. So Infiltrator is going to be super clutch. The next mon on the squad that we have is going to be Gypsy the Alolan Persian. So Gypsy's EV set is going to be 248 in HP, 216 in speed, 44 in special attack, running the Naive Nature. The Naive Nature because we're going to be running Foul Play, Power Gem, Knockoff, and Parting Shot. So we do have physical coverage, and we also have special coverage with Knockoff and Power Gem. Power Gem is there to be able to hit Togetic, as well as Torkoal, and it's also there. I gave it Rocky Helmet. So Rocky Helmet is there to be able to somewhat be able to handle Weavile if I absolutely need to. So I can come in, take a physical attack, give it some damage, chip it away, and then Parting Shot out. So Knockoff is there to remove items. Foul Play is there to dent Necrozma and any other physical attacker like Copper Jaw. So Persian is going to be really good clutch Pokemon for us to be able to pivot around, really. So this is going to be our bulky pivot for the game. So like I said, Rocky Helmet, and it's going to be running their Fur Coat ability to be able to take physical attacks a little bit better. What Fur Coat does, it doubles your defense, so pretty clutch. So this is going to be our pivot for the game. And also our speed control, because the speed investment allows it to outspeed Heliolisk by 1 point. Not Weavile, but Heliolisk by 1 point. And then the last mon on the squad, we're going to go ahead and be bringing Rapidash, aka Roman. Roman's going to be running Flare Blitz, Morning Sun, Toxic, and Substitute. The EV spreads that we're running this week is going to be 76 in HP, and we have 244 in attack, 188 in speed with the Jolly Nature, and we are going to be running Flare Blitz, Morning Sun, Toxic, and Substitute. This is here to check Torkoal. It's here to check Torkoal. Its secondary reasons for it to be here is to one-shot Under the Sun, and even Out of the Sun, depending on its investment in bulk. It's here to one-shot Copper Jaw, and it's here to one-shot Venusaur. So Flare Blitz is there for those two Pokemon. Flare Blitz also does an okay amount of damage to Torkoal in the sun, but we're going to be running the Flash Fire ability this week with the Heavy Duty Boots. So that way we can switch in and out to any kind of Stealth Rock shenanigans or any kind of hazards that he wants to set up. So that way we don't have to keep taking chip, because you are taking 25% from Stealth Rock every time you switch in. So if I'm using this as a bulky pivot, then I want to be able to not take any hazard damage. So that's what the boots is there for. Flash Fire is there to be immune to Torkoal's fire type coverage. And then Toxic is there to stall it out. So the reason why I'm running Substitute is because Yawn does not go through sub. I confirmed that, I believe. There are multiple sources, and I did watch a game from good buddy Josh, aka Ultra Player, and he tried to yawn with his Jolteon in one of his games in the UBL onto a Pokemon that had sub, and it didn't work. So when I saw that game, it gave me this idea, and I also got this idea to solidify by my good buddy Silver Seraph. Shout out to you, my man. He's the one who decided to recommend me to bring Rapidash, but he thought about Will-O-Wisp, so I decided to put Toxic on there. Will-O-Wisp would be really good because he has a lot of physical attackers, but this is a better way for me to be able to wear down Torkoal. Also to wear down Togetic if I absolutely need to, because I do resist its fairy type stab. So this could be pretty clutch, as well as being able to come into an Ice Shard or an Icicle Crash from Weavile. Depending on if he's banned or not, I may not be able to take Icicle Crash into knockoff, but we'll see. Depends on Weavile's investment and depends on its item that it's holding. So this is here to basically break down Torkoal into one-shot Copperjaw, Venusaur, and to wear down Togetic. So this is going to be the team, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If there's anything else that you would have done differently, what you guys think about the sets, all that fun jazz. So we're going to hop right into the matchup tomorrow. This will go up against Platinum Howler. If you guys are super excited, like I said, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. And with all that being said, I'm going to get the heck up out of here. Have a great rest of your day, and above all else, be nice. Peace.